COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
2020 has been an unconventional year. Plans had to be cancelled. Loved ones were separated. People were falling ill. Life, as we knew it, came to an abrupt halt. We knew we could not lose hope when the home of those around us were diminishing. The livelihood of families, opportunities for education, all these and more were affected. Due to the movement control order, breadwinners had lost their jobs. Families we spoke to told us that they had little to no savings for basic necessities or even to put food on their table.
So, keadaan tak mengizinkan lah sewaktu macam ini, saya betul-betul gawat juga. Keadaan keuangan, apalagi makanan di rumah. Maafkan saya lah, Jura. Rasa macam berat juga pakcik nak mau cakap benda ni.
We launched Project Sina with an initial goal of feeding 150 families weekly for 2 weeks. However, what we ended up doing was so much more. In the 15 weeks that the project ran, we provided a total of 504 families with food aid and cash aid, out of which 428 families received the aid weekly, while 76 families received the aid once off. Project Sina was supported by so many. Firstly, generous individuals who gave in spite of uncertain times. Secondly, our corporate partners who rallied their staff to support and donate towards our project. And finally, the suppliers that we worked with, who knew how imperative the food aid was to the families and even helped us to make door-to-door deliveries every single week.
Because of you all, my children have food to eat and can sleep at night. I really don't know what I would have done without the food. I prayed and God heard my cry. God is listening.
So while Project Sina was happening and in the works, our team was working on another big challenge, which was on solving the education problem. We started by assessing the need for connectivity amongst the students from our programs. Through our calls, we found that many of our children were unable to join any online classes, whether in school or be it Gigi's programs, simply because they were reliant on their parents being at home in order to have any access to data or devices to go online. Another challenge was the lack of guidance. With schools closed, imagine being a parent to 4 children who need help with schoolwork, but you have no idea how to teach them yourselves because you have had limited education. Seeing the need for connectivity and education guidance within our communities, we then took the bold step of bringing our education programs online as quickly as we could. Through Project E-Pembelajaran, we gave out 88 data and dongles and 46 phones and SIM cards to 134 families. This provided 198 children from 4 communities with 40 gigabytes of monthly access to online education up till the end of 2020. And as a result, attendance for our online programs has increased. We began with 58% attendance, which has now gone up to 92%. 91% of the parents we interviewed shared that the aid had really helped them, as most of them faced financial difficulty in purchasing additional data to support their children's learning. With your trust, we were able to bridge this digital gap.
Keluarga kami tak mampu dulu untuk beli top up, tapi sekarang kita tak perlu risau lah, dan kita bolehlah guna duit tu untuk bayar benda lain yang lebih penting lah, sikit-sikit macam tu.
To our amazing volunteers who learned how to teach through the Zoom platform, parents are telling us that they are seeing their children get excited every week about learning simply because you take the time to explain and make learning interesting for their children. Your extra attention, your guidance to weaker students has made their parents realize that there is still hope for their children to learn despite this pandemic. Unconventional. From responding to the need for food and cash aid to converting our learning programs online, it wasn't easy charting this path. Even our volunteers were unconventional. Despite moving to a different country with different time zones, they will wake up just to mentor in our education programs simply because they saw the need. And to all our donors and corporate partners watching this, know that underserved families and children were able to weather through the uncertainties because you chose to be unconventional in the way things were done. And with that, these thank you notes are for you.
Thank you so much, Amoy.
Terima kasih banyak-banyak. Terima kasih generasi gemilang.